Debt Free TV, in association with getoutofdebtfree.org.
Well, we're at County Hall today once again. This time it's the Police and Crime Committee meeting. And in light of the fact that the Goddard inquiry is coming to Nottingham, it's appropriate to ask the questions: who knew what, when they knew it, and what did they do? Main focus attention, though, is Christopher Eyre, the gatekeeper, paedophile protector.
Well, I'll make sure that I have the camera rolling when you've got any questions to ask him. I'm sure you've got some very interesting ones.
Well, I think we both have, really, because I have the Director of Social Services, Alan Smith, and he's yet to be brought before the courts, and I'm sure there's someone amongst us that wants to ask questions about what he's done about Kenneth Clark, because we took what was known to
Steve Edwards
at the County Council and notified Superintendent Chamberlain. She must have notified Chris Eyre, but I think the big question we need to ask is he related to Ronald Eyre, the paedophile that got 8 years at Leicester? And where did Chris Eyre come from?
Oh, Leicester.
Yes. Well, he might not be expecting us today, but he should have. Have a nice day, Christopher.
You were one substituted this morning. Could I thank members of the panel who helped us reshape this report? I mean, over the past 3 years we've talked quite a lot about the report. We have reshaped it. It may not be the final product, but if people want further changes, we can do that. This is the statutory reminder on page 1 of the report that this is the Chief Constable who is responsible for operational matters, and it's a point that I'm always very well aware of. I only wanted to raise 3 or 4 points with the panel. First of all, there's a paragraph or a couple of paragraphs, paragraph 6.14 about hate crime. You see that the reporting of hate crime has increased. That's been a priority for both myself and the Chief Constable. Panel members will be interested to know that there has been concern both in the Jewish community and in the Muslim community around terrorist acts. There was a very large meeting at the Pakistan Centre just a week ago when representatives of the community were there. I previously met imams and chairman of the mosque. I think the reality is this, that although there have been some reporting of incidents of Islamic behaviour, they are not excessive. That has been a rise. We welcome that. We take it seriously. Rizwan was at one of the meetings recently, a meeting organised jointly by the Jewish community and the Muslim community. The Chief Constable spent quite a lot of time after the Paris incident talking with community leaders across faiths. So yes, there is an issue. It's important to keep it in proportion, I think. I wanted to say something around paragraph 6.117, which is about public protection. Those of us who listen, or those who listen to our conversations and debates, know, because it's a public document, that Operation Daybreak has had 167 allegations against 255 named and unnamed offenders, and that people are being brought before the courts and files are with the CPS. It's the same situation with Operation Zeres in the north of the county. 96 complaints have been made involving 155 named and unnamed offenders. I discuss this regularly with the force. I'm satisfied, always do with extra resources. I'm satisfied that the Chief Constable has made careful decisions about the amount of resource that he puts into this. The other significant thing, I think, to draw to the panel's attention is the Goddard inquiry. About a fortnight ago, Goddard inquiry announced that it was going to pursue 13 further areas, one of which were abuse of children historically in children's homes in Nottingham and Nottinghamshire. Let me just say very strongly, both on the behalf of myself and the Chief Constable, we welcome that approach. In fact, I've had private discussions with the Goddard inquiry before we made the announcement. I think it's important that there's an external body comes and validates the work that the local councils are doing and the police are doing. And if there have been mistakes in the past and one will make their own judgment on that, that needs to be independently checked. My anxiety around the Goddard inquiry is that it's a big inquiry. It's going to take quite a long time to report. The panel have taken an interest in the past, and rightly, about the unauthorised firearm discharge that occurred at Sherwood Lodge. I mentioned it at the last panel meeting. We expected the report imminently that day. It took about 2 weeks later before the report came out. There's an account of it in the papers, and we give reference to the report can be found on the website. And again, having read the report, discussed it with the Chief Constable, I'm satisfied that suitable steps have now been taken. And finally, I just wanted to draw the panel's attention to the appendix about the Victims Code. One of my priorities has been to give extra space, extra resources to witnesses, to victims. We talked, some of us this morning, about the funding package available to the government next year towards police forces. I have to say, we have not yet heard from the Ministry of Justice how much support will be available for victim services next year. In fact, I've written to the Secretary of State for Justice just this morning saying it would be helpful to have an early indication of the amount of money available in planning for services next year. The MOJ are taking very substantial cuts next year, and I'm not confident that the amount of money that we've had in the current year will be passported into the future years. So with that, I'll hand over to Chris.
Mr. Tipping, would you like to explain to your crime panel that the man sat next to you, the corrupt Chief Constable of Nottingham, right, I actually called for his dismissal a few weeks ago. Mr. Eyre,
I'm sorry,
right,
I'm sorry.
you do not have any integrity whatsoever. You actually refuse to acknowledge any correspondence. You treat survivors of childhood sexual abuse like we're dirt. Well, we are not dirt, right? Explain a lot of things, Mr. Eyre.
Ladies and gentlemen,
maybe you'd like to explain why you came from Leicester. Jenna, the McCanns, Ronald Eyre.
Thank you.
Yes, you all run away, don't you? Just like the council.
You're not hearing the truth, do you? None of you. Chris here, Mickey Summers was attacked in a wardenated complex.
Your police failed to investigate. You are a scumbag.
You've done nothing. Whether it's Mickey or anything, this was a wardenated complex and you did nothing. You can find out by the council who authorised that letter to be delivered to Mickey Summers.
You run away like a paedophile.
In his flat, witnessed by his wife. And you did nothing. You did nothing. You can find out who delivered that letter. You're the scum of the earth. You're the scum of the earth.
How many children have you raped?
You're the scum of the earth, Chrissy.
Get out of Nottingham.
Look at you,
we don't want you.
You're not welcome in Nottingham.
You're despicable. Go away, you rat. You rat.
There's Operation Daybreak and Azeris refused to meet with us. So the extent we have to do is come here and stand in the public gallery to try and make them listen to us. As you can see, survivors are wound up and frustrated because they won't be listened to. And we've been asking for a meeting with Operation Daybreak and Azeris now for a while. We don't want to go to these lengths to let people walk out. We don't want this. But we would like the Crime Commissioner and the panel just to meet with us. We've been begging for a meeting with Operation Daybreak and Azeris now for a long time, and they won't come to the table with us. Just to meet us as a survivor group, the CSA Action Group in Nottingham and East Midlands survivors, Nigel O'Mara. We're quite calm. As we know, Mickey Summers, he's got a lot of frustration because he's been shut down for so long. And can I just finish? And I would also just to mention today, we also have another survivor that's here. The reason we came, another survivor that was shut down because she was told she had mental illness and her case has been closed.
Just last week, a 9-year-old child.
Please, madam.
Please listen to us.
Can you listen, please?
Please.
Like just last week, a 9-year-old child, had their evidence lost by the police here in Nottingham. And a 9-year-old child is not going to get justice for the abuse that she has suffered because of the police incompetence in Nottingham. It's about time these things were brought out into the open and dealt with.
This is a charade.
Just pushing them away and shoveling it underneath the carpet each time is not acceptable and is not going to be acceptable.
If you won't give me a chance to speak, then I will ask the security people to ask you to leave because you're disrupting what's the scrutiny panel.
A charade.
Yes, and we're scrutinising. We're
Because these
scrutinising.
people aren't telling the truth.
There are other ways in which you can raise those issues.
Yes, this is scrutiny panel. We're scrutinising.
To scrutinise and ask the Commissioner. We have a definite brief. If you're prepared to be quiet, we might be able to arrange some things for later. But if you're going to be as instructive as you've been, then I'm going to ask...
Then I'll happily sit down and wait for later. Thank you.
So will they answer the questions?
Mickey, give them a chance. Give them a chance.
Yeah.
With all sorts of authority So this panel won't be able to answer your questions. We don't have any of the information you're asking about.
Chris Hare does.
No, but the people inside this room do.
Our job is quite different, I'm afraid.
Can I just say, I'm a member of the public, I'm not a survivor. I've supported these people all the way through this in the last year and a half. And as I say, the Operation Daybreak and Azeris will not meet with the CSA Action Group. If they would meet with us, so we could have that, we wouldn't have to come to these meetings.
You're asking the wrong people. I have no authority.
I know you don't, I know, but that's...
Debt Free TV, in association with GetOutOfDebtFree.org.